Previously on Live from Mount Olympus.
When I awoke, I found this beside me.
It has writing on it. Atalanta, please forgive us for the terrible mistakes we made. We are so sorry. Please come home. Your mother and father, Queen Clymene and King Iasus of Arcadia.
I am your mother.
Yes, of course you are. I don't want another mother. I don't need another mother. And yet, I feel a pull to find out who these people are.
Talking about money can be so hard, especially when the person you're talking to is still learning how to do long division. That's why Million Bazillion, a Webby-winning podcast from Marketplace, is here to help. I'm Bridget, and with my fellow co-host Ryan, we help teach your little ones about complex topics like bankruptcy, climate change, and why there's so much gold at Fort Knox, and so much more. Listen to Million Bazillion wherever you get your podcasts.
Live from Mount Olympus is produced by the Onassis Foundation and is a proud member of Tracks from PRX.
Clymene, you look so sad. What's on your mind?
Do you think she will come?
I hope so. When word arrived that a young woman named Atalanta had saved Caledon from a wild boar, I was astonished.
Gods only know how she survived.
My messenger left word in the forest where she might have lived, asking for her to come home.
Even if she does come, I fear that we may not recognize our own child. We abandoned her.
I thought then that I had good reasons. Our kingdom needed a prince, a male heir, and she was, well, a girl. But you know that I have come to regret that decision.
I never wanted to let her go. You know that. I accepted your judgment, and have blamed myself for that every day since. I never thought she could survive. A tiny baby left alone and helpless in a forest.
If she does come, if somehow she does decide to come, we will have to take everything very slowly.
We will need to let her show us who she has become.
And we must show her how deeply sorry we are for what we did.
With all that has happened, do you think she could ever learn to love us?
King Iasus, Queen Clymene, I am sorry to interrupt, but there is a person outside who demands to see you. She says that she is your daughter. But she is wild and disheveled.
Let her enter. We must speak to her.
Are you sure, sire? She is armed. She has a bow and arrows, which she refuses to put down.
I am sure. Please let her in.
You asked me here, and I am here.
Welcome, Atalanta. Welcome home.
Home? It doesn't feel like any home I know. Your palace is cavernous. The stone floors are so cold. Nothing like my home in the warm green forest.
We are so grateful that the forest nurtured you. And we hope you will be able one day to feel that this too is your home.
The Queen, your mother, and I are thankful that you came back to us.
Why did you leave me?
I thought then, I thought that I could only accept a male child who would become heir to our kingdom. It was the worst mistake of my life. I am ashamed of what I did.
We are deeply sorry, Atalanta. We pray that one day you will be able to accept our apology and forgive us.
What does forgive mean? In the forest, we don't use that word.
Well, to forgive could mean that you let us show you that we love you.
And that you understand that we regret what we did.
And one day, maybe one day, we can help you move past the pain and anger that our actions caused.
It is still hard for me to understand.
Let's take our time and get to know each other. What might we do to help you feel comfortable here?
It's hard for me to feel comfortable inside walls. Especially in a room filled with so many things that are so strange. Like this. What is it for?
That is called a vase. We cut flowers to put in it. Objects like this are special. They give us joy.
It makes me sad to think of cutting flowers. In the forest, we enjoy them as they grow.
Who is we?
My family.
You have a family in the forest?
Yes. Callisto and Arcus and Mama Bear, of course.
Mama Bear? Is that who took care of you when you were growing up?
Yes. Mama loved me and raised me as her own.
How marvelous. Raised by a mother bear.
Mama and her cubs taught me everything.
Bears? But you speak so fluently. You must have encountered other humans in the forest.
No human taught me to speak. But growing up, I did see a hunter once. He shot at us. It was horrible. The next day, Artemis came to teach me how to defend myself.
Artemis?
Our daughter taught by a god.
2, actually. Athena was also my teacher.
2 goddesses. But were there no other humans in your life?
Just a few little girls. Artemis asked me to teach the Arctoi.
Arctoi? They are in Browron at Artemis's temple. How did you end up in Caledon?
Well, one day when I was alone in the forest, I was attacked by 2 centaurs.
No!
I killed them both. Meleager saw what happened. He asked me to join him in the boar hunt.
Prince Meleager? We heard about his heroism and his death.
A tragedy.
He was my friend.
Oh, I wish we could offer some comfort to you for the terrible loss of your friend.
It was terrible. From what I saw in Caledon, it is not easy to be part of a royal family.
Fair enough, it does take time to get used to the responsibilities. Perhaps if you lived with us for a while, you could learn.
Why would I need to do that?
You've only talked with goddesses and bears and hunters and little girls. There is more for you to learn about how people can live together, build together, grow together.
I am not sure I need to learn all that. But I am curious about your world, and I will stay, for now.
I can't believe we get to see a true hero! Did you hear that she drew first blood?
Without her, they never would have killed that boar. Caledon would be in ruins.
It said she learned archery from the goddess of the hunt herself.
And that she was raised by a bear. Can you imagine?
My sister saw her running through the forest in a short hunter's cloak.
Easier to run in that than the long skirt we have to wear.
I heard that because of her, Prince Meleager killed his own uncles.
No!
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting King Iasus and Queen Clymene.
Good people of Arcadia! It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you an accomplished young woman who helped rid Caledon of the ferocious boar that ravaged their kingdom. Please welcome Princess Atalanta!
Her hair, it's the color of a raven.
She doesn't walk like any princess I've ever seen. She strolled into the room like a hunter.
One sexy hunter, that's for sure.
Look at the way she gazes out at all of us. No shyness, no fear. That is not a proper young lady.
Ugh. The 2 of you judging her every move and appearance, you think that's proper? If so, all of us should strive to be improper.
Daughter, I invite you to speak to the fine people of Arcadia.
I do not know these people. I have nothing to say to them.
They are quite curious about you, daughter.
Why should that matter to me?
Such a beauty.
cares if she was there?
You are so gross.
Is what I look like all that matters to your people? This is not interesting at all. I am leaving.
Atalanta, come back.
Atalanta!
Oh, I guess I'll follow her. I'll be right back, darling. Atalanta! Atalanta? Why did you run off? Everyone was so enchanted
Why
when you...
would I stay? There's nothing for me there.
But... You have been adjusting so well to life in the palace. Your father and I thought today would be a good day to introduce you
to...
That
was your idea. And I never thought it was a good one. Besides, all anyone seems to care about is how I look. Ugh. Especially the men. They stare at me like they are starving lions, and I'm a cornered gazelle.
Yes, you describe that feeling well. But they can't harm you.
Of course they cannot harm me. I am a bear.
Atalanta, your father and I hoped that in time you would find a way to fit in.
People want me to be some kind of decorative object. Like a cut flower in that vase in your throne room. I will never be that. And I'm not sure why you should be either.
My role here is more than decorative. I help balance things. I serve as a model for the young women of our kingdom. I help educate them.
I was educated by bears and goddesses. What I learned in the forest feels so different from what is required here.
In a lot of ways, it is different. But in some important ways, it's connected. Through the work we could do together with the people of Arcadia, your connection could become deeper.
That is difficult for me to imagine.
There is something about connecting with other people that allows us to become greater together than we are apart.
With Meleager, I think I felt something like that.
I had a feeling that was true.
He grew up in a palace, but he said he didn't always feel he belonged there. Yet he was trying to learn how to be a good ruler. He told me his father taught him how important it was to help people work together, even when they were very different from each other.
That is what your father and I try to do here, too. Hey, I have an idea. You have worked so hard to understand how we live in Arcadia. Would you take me to the forest with you? So I can see your world through your eyes.
Why would you want to do that?
I want to learn to love what you love. To see what you see.
Okay. I would like that too.
Wonderful. The first thing we need to figure out is how we can leave quietly so we don't attract attention.
I know a back way.
Of course you do.
Follow me.
All right. I'm coming.
Phew. I wasn't sure Clymene would be able to get through to her.
Suggesting they visit the forest together was the clincher.
Well, they've been taking those clandestine trips for a while now. Let's see how Atalanta fares in Arcadian society again.
Before we do that, can we follow them into the forest one last time? I want to see them happy.
Okay, if we must. It's springtime. 2 years later. Let's roll tape.
Run! Come on! Atalanta! Gotta keep up!
Wait, I can't keep up with you.
No one can. So let's just lie back in the moss and watch the birds and the clouds.
And I love spending time with you here. I feel free in a way I never have before. Is this what you would do all day when you lived in the forest with your bear family?
When I lived with my bear family, we had chores.
Oh. What is a chore?
I'm starting to think you had a weirder upbringing than me. Mama would send us to catch fish, gather berries. Sometimes we would clean out the den. And most days, there was time for wrestling and playing with Callisto and Arcus.
You must miss your siblings a lot.
I do.
Might there be humans you miss, too? Tell me more about your friend, the prince.
Meleager. I still miss him.
My two favorite ladies enjoying a lazy afternoon in the moss.
Atalanta and I are birdwatching, honey. We often come here to lie back and look at the sky. How did you find us?
I heard your voices. So, Clymene, have you talked with our daughter?
Your timing leaves something to be desired. I was just about to...
About to what?
Well, your mother and I have noticed you haven't really made friends here.
We are worried that you might be lonely, Atalanta.
I enjoy being alone. There is a difference.
But everyone needs friends. Humans are not meant to be alone.
What are you trying to say?
We think you should get married.
Married? Why?
Whew, boy. Well, because you are the princess of Arcadia, you must honor your royal duties.
Those are your royal duties. They are not mine.
Marriage is not just a duty. Even when you are a member of the royal family, the most important part of marriage is that you have a friend, a companion with whom you can share your life.
I had a companion like that, but he died. Why are you pushing me about this now?
I am getting old. You are our only child. The kingdom will need an heir.
Darling, what your father and I are trying to say is we know you are still finding your way in this new world, but we also know that you don't completely hate it here.
How do you know that?
Because you are still here. You know how to disappear into the forest, yet you have not done so.
Atalanta.
I need time to think. Just stay here.
Is she leaving us?
She does seem to think better when she runs around. Maybe it's a bear thing? Let's give her a little time.
Marriage is a royal duty. I must find an heir to continue my legacy. Did they ask me to come back only for this? Who's there?
Atalanta, calm down. It's me.
Artemis, I'm so confused.
It's good to see you, too.
Can you believe the nerve? They want me to get married.
Of course they do. Parents.
My father says that I'm his only child and he needs an heir to the throne.
Ah, the games of human society.
Of course I will say no.
Do you want to stay in Arcadia?
Well, I'm not ruling it out.
If you choose to stay with them, you need to understand that society has customs.
Does it ever? So many rules. Ugh. Walk this way. Do not look a man in the eyes.
Well, you understand the rules of the forest, so come back and live here.
I dream about that every day. But something about Arcadia, about the king and the queen, about the young people I have met who dream of a better life for themselves. It's not all bad.
So, you will stay?
I will, for now. Though I need to figure out what to do about this marriage business.
You can request your own game, with your own rules. That way, you can remain true to yourself. Do you have a sense of what you might do?
I have an idea.
She's been gone a really long time. Do you think she went back to her bear family?
There she is. Atalanta.
I have decided.
We are listening, daughter.
I will honor your request. On one condition.
Name it. Anything you ask.
Maybe wait for her to say...
Whatever it is, you have my word. I will grant it.
To say what she wants.
In order to win my hand, a suitor must show that he is worthy of me. To do this, he must compete in a race with me. If he wins, I will marry him. But any man who loses will die.
Oh.
Don't you think that's a little extreme?
No self-respecting man would risk his life just for a chance to marry me.
Daughter, you underestimate the power of a prince's desire to marry a beautiful princess and to inherit this kingdom.
You are the swiftest person in Greece. Are you sure you want your suitors to pay this terrible price?
An easy way to not pay this terrible price is to not try to marry me. If somehow a suitor can find a way to win, well, perhaps he may be worth marrying.
No one can win a race against you. If we follow through with this plan, there will be blood on the track.
But I have given my word. I cannot take that back. We will announce the first race tomorrow.
Live from Mount Olympus is produced by the Onassis Foundation and co-produced by Brooklyn-based theater company, The Team. Our co-directors are Rachel Chavkin, Zhailon Levingston, Ahmad Simmons, and Keenan Tyler Oliphant. Karen Brooks Hopkins is our executive producer, and our series creator and showrunner is Julie Burstein. Our actors are Carlo Albard, Ben Beckley, Kayla Bennett, Sumaya Bubal.
My sister saw her running through the forest in a short hunter's cloak.
Vinie Burrows, Sean Carvajal, Jill Frutkin, Abel Garcia, Divine Garland, Halima Henderson.
Her hair, it's the color of a raven.
Joanne Hernandez.
This is not interesting at all. I am leaving.
Monet Cherie Hunter, Modesto Flako Jimenez, Libby King.
Phew. I wasn't sure Clymene would be able to get through to her.
Ian Lassiter.
Without her, they never would have killed that boar.
Zhailon Levingston, Christina Liberus.
Can we follow them into the forest one last time? I want to see them happy.
Nehemiah Luckett, Kimberly Marable, Jake Margolin.
She is armed. She has a bow and arrows.
Justin Medina, James Harrison Monaco, Greg Moscala, Xavier Pacheco, Elena Reyes, Mickey Robinson, Kat Rodriguez.
I can't believe we get to see a true hero!
Max Samuels.
I heard that because of her, Prince Meleager killed his own uncles.
Kristen Sieh.
Even if she does come, I fear that we may not recognize our own child.
John Turturro.
We think you should get married.
Jillian Walker. And Andre DeShields is Hermes.
They've been taking those clandestine trips for a while now. Let's see how Atalanta fares in Arcadian society again.
Special thanks to Adrian Hopkins, Natalie Hopkins, and Caroline Hopkins. This season, the team's interim producing director, Nydia Medina, and producing associate, Chandler Smith, led production, with support from the new producing director, Emma Orm. We had casting support from Melissa Friedman of Epic Theater Ensemble. Our writer is Nathan Youngerberg. Yonatan Reckham is assistant editor, and Claire Street is our production assistant. Audio production and mix by John Malillo. Music composed by Magdalene Gianniku and performed by Banda Magda. Jason Adam Katzenstein created our illustrations and is series humor consultant. A big thank you to our creative advisors, Dr. Michael Cohen, Effie Siotsu, and Richard Nodell. Michael Kendrick is program director for Onassis USA, and Olivia Bontaine is antiquities consultant for our show. Marketing by CauseLab. Social media management by Milagros Verindia. Press by Blake Zadell. Graphic design by Onassis Creative Studio. Live from Mount Olympus was recorded with tracking engineers Mark Frangelo and Violet Furton at Dubway Studios, and Roy Hendrickson at the Power Station at Berkeley, NYC. This season of Live from Mount Olympus is dedicated to the memory of Dr. Janet Handler Burstein, who believed that these timeless myths continue to express our human struggle to understand ourselves and the world we live in. Since 1975, the Onassis Foundation has been dedicated to culture, community, and education with projects that can effectively inspire social change and justice across borders. Learn more at www.onassis.org. Till next time, there's so many stories to tell.
From PRX.
Onassis Foundation.
Did you know that kids eat 1,095 meals every year?
And if you include snacks, it's more like 4 trillion meals a year.
Honestly, the responsibility kind of sucks sometimes, but we're here with some real help and camaraderie too.
We're Stacy and Megan, hosts of Didn't I Just Feed You, a weekly podcast that gets real about what it takes to feed our families.
Tune in to Didn't I Just Feed You for kitchen tricks, product recommendations, and tons of meal ideas, like how to turn nachos into a legit family dinner. Listen to Didn't I Just Feed You wherever you get your podcasts.